A Voyage to Lilliput, Chapter 3. As the days passed, Gulliver's gentle nature began to win over the people of Lilliput. The tiny citizens no longer feared him as they once had. Children even became brave enough to play games in his hair, and Gulliver often entertained them by letting them climb onto his hands. At the same time, he worked hard to learn their language and hoped that his good behavior would soon earn him his freedom. One day, the Emperor invited Gulliver to watch the famous entertainments of the royal court. Gulliver was amazed to discover that important government positions were not always given to the wisest or most capable people. Instead, ambitious candidates competed by performing dangerous tricks on a thin rope. The person who could jump and balance the best often received the highest office in the kingdom. Many of these performers were injured while trying to impress the emperor, but the strange tradition continued. The court also held another unusual competition. Candidates had to leap over and crawl under a stick held by the emperor. Those who performed best received colored silk ribbons as a sign of royal favor. Gulliver found these customs both fascinating and absurd. Wanting to repay the emperor's kindness, Gulliver decided to create a special entertainment of his own. Using sticks and his large handkerchief, he built a giant platform. Then, he carefully placed 24 of the emperor's finest horsemen on it. To the delight of the royal family, the tiny soldiers staged mock battles, charged at one another, and showed off their military skills. The emperor enjoyed the spectacle so much that he ordered it to be repeated several times. Soon after, a group of Lilliputians discovered a mysterious black object lying in a field. They believed it might belong to the Man Mountain. When Gulliver heard about it, he immediately realized what it was, his hat, which he had lost after the shipwreck. The tiny people managed to drag the enormous hat back to him, though not without damaging it along the way. A few days later, the emperor thought of another amusing display. He ordered thousands of soldiers to march beneath Gulliver's legs while he stood with his feet spread apart. Drums beat, flags waved, and cavalry rode proudly through the giant living arch. The event became one of the most memorable spectacles ever seen in Lilliput. Meanwhile, Gulliver continued asking for his freedom. Most members of the royal council agreed that he had behaved well and deserved to be trusted. Only one powerful man, the High Admiral Skyresh Bolgolam, strongly opposed him and seemed determined to cause trouble. Eventually, the emperor decided that Gulliver would be released, but only if he agreed to a list of strict conditions. He must never leave the kingdom without permission, must avoid damaging fields and villages, must help carry important messengers across the country, and must assist Lilliput in its conflict with the neighbouring island of Blefuscu. He was also expected to help with large construction projects and map the kingdom's coastline. Although some of the conditions seemed unfair, Gulliver gladly accepted them. He swore an oath to obey the emperor and all the laws of Lilliput. At last, his chains were removed. For the first time since arriving in the strange land, Gulliver was free to walk about the kingdom. The emperor congratulated him and expressed hope that he would become a loyal friend and valuable servant of the empire. As Gulliver looked around at his tiny new world, he felt hopeful. He had survived a shipwreck, earned the trust of an entire nation, and finally gained his freedom. Yet he had no idea that even greater adventures and greater dangers still awaited him in Lilliput.